to get your fix.
Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix?
With the Wicks here on this beautiful Monday, February 28th, 2022, and welcome to the show, whether that be on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor, hit the like and share this to your friends, your family, and whatnot. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe. It would be much, much appreciated. So obviously, we all know that we're currently in the off season of the NFL, basically, where we're at the point now where we're looking at college athletes that are potentially going to make their way into the NFL. We got some stars maybe being born. We got some duds being born as well. Okay, it's the name of the game. The scouting combine is actually going to take place tomorrow. All right, not a whole bunch going to actually happen tomorrow with the scouting combine. I believe a lot of it has to do with, athletes coming in, getting ready, getting their hotel room, getting physicals and all that kind of stuff all dealt with their trainers, their medical personnel, and all that other nonsense. So we're going to dive into that later in the show to kind of give you guys a little rundown of what to look forward to and what's kind of going to be happening in I guess, that world. Okay, now the scouting combine takes place in Indianapolis. But we got to dive in to obviously what the Colts have submitted, which is a proposal to change some overtime rules, which, hey, okay, I'm all for it. Kyler Murray, his agent, actually released a statement trying to, diving into his whole situation and why he potentially did what he did on his Instagram and social media accounts and stuff like that. But now we also have to dive into the fact that we have three different locations that are going to be taking place in the NFL this year. London, okay, Germany, and Mexico. The NFL has released all of the home teams for those locations, so we'll dive into that as well. So with that being said, are you ready to get your fix? Well, let's start right off the bat with the Indianapolis Colts. All right, so we all know this past playoffs, right? The Chiefs, the Bills, they ended up going into overtime. Josh Allen doesn't get to touch the field. Kansas City, the Patrick Mahomes, he leads his team down the field. They score a touchdown. It's game over. Then potentially the same damn thing almost happens with Joe Burrow and the Bengals against the Kansas City Chiefs. But Joe Burrow got to see the field. So the Indianapolis Colts have submitted a proposal to change overtime rules. Now, basically what this is stating is that, look, each team gets at least one possession for their offense. So if you win the coin flip, all right, you start with the ball, you get a chance to march all the way down the field. If you score a touchdown or if you score a field goal, the other offense has the opportunity to do the same, has the opportunity to tie that. Whether you scored a touchdown, they have the opportunity to score a touchdown themselves. If they don't, it's game over. If you scored a field goal, they have the chance to go down the field, score a field goal. If they don't, game over. Now, I'm not really sure how it would be, say, if the first team kicks a field goal, the second team, scores a touchdown. At that point, I'm assuming, anyways, that the game would be over and done with. The second team obviously gets the dub. But I'm all for this. But they kind of submitted the proposal for both the regular season and the postseason. I think it should be both, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I honestly think that if the NFL decides to go with this and decides to vote yes, which, by the way, if they do vote on this, they have to have at least 3/4 voted for this to happen, or they submitted this proposal. 24 out of the 32 teams have to say, yeah, I like that. Let's implement that change, that rule change. But if 23 vote yes and the rest say no, the vote is denied. The vote does not pass. It does not happen. It does not change. So 24 out of the 32 have to do this. But in order for that, I think the NFL is kind of gonna say like, look, regular season, I think that's a little too much. Let's just make it strictly postseason. I don't like it. If it's going to be only postseason, it's kind of like, okay, well then we sit here and we practice this every single year or every single day or at least once a week. When you go into overtime, how it's all going to work out. If their offense, scout team offense scores a touchdown, let's see if our starting offense has the same opportunity. We're going to work on it that way throughout the entire regular season, and then go into the postseason and try to do it. I think you need to have it both regular season and postseason, just basically because it's going to be a lot different come down to postseason when this rule is implemented. The regular overtime rule states that basically if you win the coin toss and you elect to receive the ball, if you score a touchdown, game's over. If you kick a field goal, the other team has the opportunity to go down and score a touchdown or tie your field goal. And at that point, if they tie your field goal, the next possession automatically ends up winning the ball game. Now, the first team doesn't score. The next team, if they kick a field goal, it's over. But what this is pretty much saying is that, look, each team needs a chance, okay, because we've seen this too many times where a superstar quarterback, let's go with the Bills and the Chiefs, for example. Josh Allen played a phenomenal game for the Bills, and a lot of people had the Bills probably winning this game. At least I did. I thought the Bills were more than capable of taking the dub. The Chiefs kind of, they weren't themselves the entire season. At the end of the year, they started to kind of work their way back to, the Chiefs that we've known for the past 3 seasons. But since the Chiefs won the coin toss, Patrick Mahomes led his team down with ease, scored a touchdown, game was said and over with. Josh Allen never got to see the field again, never had that opportunity to be like, yo, look, I'm also a dog. I can go out there and do the exact same thing. But, if you're a defensive player, if you like to play defense more than you like to play offense, look, all you have to do is just stop them. Okay, that's a lot of people's arguments. Okay, well, yeah, Kansas City got the ball, all right? But your defense should have fucking stopped them, and then it would have gave you the opportunity to potentially go down and win the ball game, and then you're on to the next round. And that just wasn't the case, okay? The defense didn't do their job, didn't do their part in playing a role there. So I'm all excited for it. I'm hoping it does get changed, but at the same time, you got to kind of expect that it won't change. I think they're going to believe that the rule they already have in place is perfect. Okay, it's not going to change. But if it does change, I also do believe that that's going to take away the ties. I hate ties. Okay, it's the stupidest thing ever. Okay, invented. I don't know why the fuck they did it. Then why are you even playing the game if you're just going to end it in a tie? It makes no fucking sense to me. But I'm not, an owner of a team. I'm not the commish. I'm not anybody like that. But something needs to happen. Something needs to change because ties just grind my fucking gears. But nope, never mind. Thought we had some news on the way. I said Aaron Rodgers, and I was like, oh, all right, okay, cool. But on other news, the Kyler Murray situation that has been kind of developing over the past few months, where he first went on social media and deleted every single picture involving him with the Cardinals, kept a picture of him and Mike Evans together. And a lot of people were speculating, okay, Kyler Murray wants out of Arizona. He wants to get out of that organization. There's been some talk potentially via the Pat McAfee show where the coaches were not granted their playoff salary or their playoff bonuses per owner discretion, basically. So there's probably some, button heads going on in that organization. And I think Kyler Murray was kind of feeling that same kind of vibe, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So Kyler Murray's agent basically came out with a statement, a long-ass statement. I'm not going to read it to you. I'll just kind of give you the basic little rundown that, Kyler Murray, he wants to stay in Arizona as long as possible. He wants to be the franchise quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. But he also wants the Cardinals to prioritize a contract extension for him. He believes he's worth way more than what he's getting paid. Currently, next year he's set to make about $5.5 million. It is about $11 million cap hit. next year, and I think a lot of that has to do with the guarantees and all the incentives that he has the opportunity of making, aka going to the Pro Bowl, throwing for set amount of yards, throwing for set amount of touchdowns, rushing for how many yards, rushing for how many touchdowns, all those little stuff. That's why the cap hit is $11 million. Now the Cardinals cap, they are just fine. Okay, they are not like the Saints, and who are, by the way, still $49 million over the cap space. The Green Bay Packers are only $26 million over the cap space. The dreaded fucking Minnesota Vikings, $13 million over the cap space. So there's a lot kind of going to be happening with that whole situation. But Kyler Murray just wants to be paid, okay? He wants to have his money. His agent also laid out where he's, a two-time Pro Bowler. He led the Cardinals to their first playoff appearance in 5 years. He gave them an 11-win season after a 3-win season before he was their quarterback and all this, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't think he should get paid, right? He should definitely get his money, but I don't think he should get what he's asking for. And from what I've been kind of hearing, beating around the bush, is probably upwards to, quite a million, $40 to $50 million, somewhere around that range where he wants. And that's because, obviously the quarterback market is going to continue to go up. This sport in America, basically, okay, the most watched, the most viewed sport. Sorry, basketball and baseball, but it is what it is. LeBron James and the Lakers are fucking sucking dick right now, okay? I just watched, Golden State just go on a complete tear, and then all of a sudden the Mavericks have a 23-2 run and beat them out. It is what it is. But back to football, what Kyler's been able to do, don't get me wrong, it's good. Okay, he's been a very solid quarterback, and he is a franchise quarterback. But I think you have to look at the bigger picture. Can this guy win us a Super Bowl? I got to question it. I really do got to question it, because in the first half of the season, this man was a wizard. Absolute wizard. He led the Arizona Cardinals to a 7-0 start. Loses to the Green Bay Packers, and then goes on to win a couple more, and then he has a couple more losses, gets that playoff berth, and then right away, bam, they're done. They're out of it. And I think that's going to be consistently the issue. Now, obviously, you got to take in mind that DeAndre Hopkins was hurt for a good portion of the season, so obviously that definitely took a hit to their team, to their organization, and to their success. Zach Ertz was a new, he was an addition to their team midway through the season. I think he's going to be a good tight end for them, but they also have Max Williams. They have a offense that is capable of doing good things. But for some odd reason, I just cannot wrap my mind around the fact that a mobile quarterback can win a Super Bowl. I just don't think that's going to be possible. I think we're still in that pocket passer quarterback type league. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of these quarterbacks can still go out and still scramble. Like Josh Allen, he's a workhorse, okay? He's a fucking stallion out there. He runs night and day. He's a phenomenal quarterback when he runs the ball as well. But I think he's a better pocket passer. Tom Brady, pocket passer. Aaron Rodgers, pocket passer, okay? Russell Wilson, mobile quarterback. He did it, okay? Or at least he had a chance to do it. All right, I think he won one. I think he has one ring, okay? So it is tough, but you got to also realize that he had the Legion of Boom, okay? One of the best defenses in recent history to help with that. Didn't really have an explosive offense, and now he's stuck with DK Metcalf, who's calling out Shannon Sharp, okay? Give me a break. Tyler Lockett, he's a good receiver, but he's not good enough. I honestly don't think so, but he's definitely very, very good. Don't get me wrong, okay? Top 15, top 20 receiver in the NFL at this point. Lamar Jackson, he's been to the playoffs, but he just can't figure out how to get his team over the hump, over the edge. They also do need a receiver, and I think Rashad Bateman's definitely going to help that out. But then you look at Michael Vick. Way back in the day, he had the opportunity. He was a stud. He was a show. You know when I say Michael Vick, exactly what you're going to get. Okay, exactly who he was. He just couldn't get it done. And I just have a hard time thinking that a mobile quarterback will eventually win a Super Bowl, or will win a Super Bowl in the coming years, in the next 5 years. After that, you never know. The league can completely switch, completely change because there are a lot more athletic, fast, mobile quarterbacks that are coming into the NFL, aka Malik Willis, who plays for Liberty University, coming into the scouting combine tomorrow. Basically, will showcase his skills Thursday. So I think it's obviously moving in that direction. But a quarterback, as of right now, it's a pocket passer type of league. It's moving towards a mobile league. But it's going to be tough for Kyler to really do anything. I still think you got to pay this man his money. Okay, make him happy, because if you build around him, if you get the right personnel around him, if you get, if DeAndre stays healthy, if they get that defense built back up to where it should be. I mean, Budda Baker's ridiculous. Isaiah Simmons is ridiculous. J.J. Watt's over there. Chandler Jones might be on his way out. He's a free agent. We talked about him on Friday and ad nauseum last week. So they definitely have the pieces to do something, but now I think they got to figure out how to, really build that chemistry, mold it all together, and just try to go on a run. And that's what they tried this year, and they just couldn't get it done. They are in a very tough league, probably the toughest division in all of football, the NFC West division with the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. So it's definitely a tough go, but if you're the Cardinals, you got to realize that you drafted Josh Rosen before this man, okay? Didn't work out. You had Carson Palmer before that. Didn't work out. Kurt Warner was the last person, I believe, to go to a Super Bowl for you guys. Okay? And it didn't work out. He didn't win. Sorry. All right? Sorry about it. I don't know what you want me to do, but it is what it is. So Arizona, I think, has to keep that in the back of their mind. Like, well, it is kind of tough to find, a franchise quarterback. And I think we got one. If we're going to, go out there and let him go, I mean, yikes. It's probably not the best decision you could make. Now, granted, next year, it's only his 4th year on his contract, so he does have a 5th-year option after that where they could, franchise tag him and do all that nonsense. But I think Kyler Murray kind of wants to stay away from that franchise tag because he believes he's a franchise quarterback who should be getting paid what he's worth. And I think that's the whole situation. I think that's why he deleted his pictures on his social media, removed the Arizona Cardinals from his friends list, and said, look, he ain't coming back into my social media, into my life, until you fucking decide that you want me. And if you don't want me, adios. Some other team will go ahead and definitely give me what I'm worth. Okay? Not the Minnesota Vikings, because I don't think we have enough money. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers would definitely pay him that money. The Miami Dolphins would definitely trade Tua Tagovailoa for him. I mean, there's a whole list of teams that would be like, oh, Kyler Murray, okay. You're not paying him? Well, let me go talk to Mr. Eric Burkhart, okay, Kyler Murray's agent, and let's get a deal done. Let's figure something out, you know what I'm saying? How's your family, basically, is what's going to happen. But who knows what's going to kind of all roll out from that whole situation. I just know he's eventually going to get paid, and I think a lot of that's going to come within the next, couple days, maybe months, because if Kyler Murray wants to get paid, they're obviously going to have a couple sit-downs and negotiation, their contract negotiations to get the right amount of money, to get what he wants. And who knows if that's going to be a possibility. I hope it is, just because, I went right through it, right? It's hard to find a franchise quarterback in the NFL. When you get one, you want to keep him as long as possible, keep him healthy, keep him ready to rock and roll. All right, people forget, he could be in baseball right now making way more money than he is in the NFL. And for him to choose the NFL over baseball, I mean, you got to kind of, love that, all right? But at the same time, it is a business. Who knows what's going to happen? Kyler Murray will eventually get paid by the Cardinals. We don't know, okay? It might happen, it might not. But let's move over to some news that was kind of broke this morning. We were waiting for this for quite some time now. First, it started with the international home markets, where every team basically got a little pick, a little choosing of a country, aka London, Germany, Mexico, China, Japan. All these different countries have home markets for NFL teams to kind of go out there and run their merch and build their fan base and stuff like that. But this year, obviously, the announcing of Germany hosting an NFL game in Munich, by the way. There was some speculation, okay, who's going to play where? What's going to happen? And guess what? The NFL has announced the home teams for the London games, okay, not just one. There's 3 games in London this year. They have announced the home team for Germany, and they have also announced the home team for the Mexico City or Azteca Stadium. So 5 games in different locations or different countries. I'm excited for it. I'm pumped up. I honestly, with the addition of Germany, I thought, okay, Germany, Mexico, London. I was really skeptical in the London. I'm like, they'll for sure have 2, obviously, in Mexico and Germany. They always do the London one every single year, so that was definitely a possibility. But guess what? They're doing 3. But the London, for the London games, they have chosen these 3 teams to be the home teams for this year or this season. And one of them obviously being the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, I think we all kind of knew that was going to happen. Who are also playing the Las Vegas Raiders in the first preseason game. Okay, the Hall of Fame game against the Las Vegas Raiders, like I just mentioned. So, but the Jacksonville Jaguars will be the home team for one of the games in London. The New Orleans Saints will also be a home team in one of the games in London, which I hope it's the Vikes against them because, kick some ass. All right, well, ever since 2009, okay, we've just kicked the shit out of them, and that's what I like to see. And last but not least, which was kind of baffling to me, the Green Bay Packers are going to be a home team for a London game. I don't know if I like it. It just seems a little odd because the Packers, their home field advantage is ridiculous. And I don't know why they would feel like or why they would want to get rid of home field advantage or get rid of one of their home field games and go over to London. Maybe it's to build their fan base. Who knows? But it did kind of baffle me because, I got to experience Lambeau. And there's no way, if I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, which I'm not, okay, that I would want my Green Bay Packers to have a home game in London. Make it an away game. Okay, have it an away game. But don't take my extra game that should be a home game away from me because I buy, this is hypothetical, okay, if I was a Green Bay Packer fan. I buy season tickets, and now instead of 9 home games, we have 8. Instead of 8 home games, we have 7. What the fuck is this? Okay, we got to figure this out. It's just kind of like there's no way in hell Jerry Jones is going to go have a home game in London or in Germany or in Mexico or whatever said location it's going to be. There's no fucking way Jerry Jones says, yeah, we'll have a home game in London. Hey, by the way, give us the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars to play against, okay? It won't happen. Okay, just because the amount of money that can be made from Jerry Jones at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas, no fucking way. So that's kind of why it baffles me for Green Bay. It's like you are literally almost sold out every single home game you have. One of the best fan bases in all of football. One of the best, not the best, okay? Skull, that's what I think is the best. But I guess I haven't got to experience other, home field fans and whatnot. But whatever, it is what it is. We'll move on. But Green Bay fans are probably going to be a little pissed, all right? But a lot of them, Green Bay is known to travel, so a lot of their fans probably will fucking go right over to London, and it'll be just as electrifying over there, so I'm looking forward to that. For Germany, the home team, for their first inaugural game in Munich, will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, gotta say, I'm okay with it because Tom Brady, they only are keeping about 2 people from their offense. The rest of them are unrestricted free agents or might get franchise tagged or retired like Tom Brady and a shocker, Ali Marpet. I think that's how you say his name, or Marpet or whatever. I don't know. But Ali, he retired at just 28 years old, spent 7 years in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization and said, you know what? Deuces. I'm out. Got my ring. That's all I need. All right. What else do you want me to accomplish? There's not much more than winning a Super Bowl. So I'm done. See you later. So they have a lot of figuring out to do. So they could completely blow. They could suck really, really bad. Okay, next year. So give them to Germany. Move them to Germany. And have that home game there because who knows what it's going to look like and how well their fan base is going to come back, because obviously Tom Brady left, and when he came to Tampa Bay, that obviously brought all the fans that were, not really bandwagoners, but Tom Brady fans as well. So that's the Germany home team, and the home team for this year's Azteca Stadium game in Mexico City, Mexico. All right, the Arizona Cardinals. Not bad. All right, probably the closest team to that stadium, so why not? They already play in that type of heat or practice in that type of heat. They'll be just fine, so I think this is a very good choosing of a team to have a home game there, just like the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. All right, it is what it is. So those are the home teams. Obviously, the away teams to come eventually, but as of right now, we don't know. The schedule is going to be made within the next month or two, or next 2 months. So we'll definitely get that figured out in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming months. So just know that the Packers, the Saints, and the Jaguars are the home teams in London. The Buccaneers are the home team in Germany. And the Cardinals are the home team in Mexico. So last but not least, the Scouting Combine is officially taking place, or starting tomorrow, March 1st. Nothing really happens, okay, where, when you go on TV and you get to watch all these guys perform, that don't happen until Thursday, March 3rd, and we'll kind of dive into that. So basically the first, 2 days is all these athletes kind of getting there, getting their hotel room, getting the routine, getting a physical, probably meeting with coaches, scouting staff, or scouters, or whatever you want to call them, and all those other people to kind of break down what they're about, if the team is going to be interested in them. And then obviously Thursday starts the festivities of all the drills, the 40-yard dash, the bench press, the shuttle run, all these the vert, and yeah, you get it. All those different types of drills will be taking place from Thursday all the way till Sunday. And I'm excited. But before we get into those events and before we get into the kind of dates and who's going to be performing when, a couple people have already said, we're not going to participate in the Scouting Combine. At least I don't think they're going to participate in the drills or the throwing part of it for some quarterbacks, and maybe the whole thing for a couple of other people as well. They're obviously going to perform at their Pro Day, which is coming up in March as well, right after the Scouting Combine takes place. So a lot of them are dealing with injuries coming off of last season, so they're kind of waiting for that to heal. Matt Corral, quarterback of Ole Miss, he won't participate in any throwing drills, so he won't get to see his cannon of an arm if he has one. We won't know until he's in the NFL or until we watch his Pro Day, obviously. So he's probably going to be there just doing his physical and all that stuff, meeting with coaches, meeting with owners and all that stuff to kind of, see what type of person he is. Same goes for Evan Neal, the offensive lineman for the Alabama Crimson Tide. He won't be participating in a lot of stuff in the Scouting Combine, kind of the same situation as Matt Corral. He's coming off an injury. And Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback from LSU, will not be performing as well, but he will be performing in his Pro Day or at his Pro Day 100%. Okay, I think he's also dealing with a little bit of injury. So those are the three top participants that aren't going to be participating in the Scouting Combine this year, or at least for the majority of it. You're not going to see them. I think all three of them are basically dealing with a little bit of an injury that they suffered from last year. They're just kind of waiting for it to heal and get 100%. But there also could be okay, these mandates and these rules are kind of bullshit. So we're not going to do it. But it is what it is. Otherwise, some other strong candidates that will participate is Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty University. Carson Strong will be also participating, who's the quarterback, I believe, for North Carolina. Aiden Hutchinson, potential first round or first overall pick in this year's draft, might go number 2 to the Detroit Lions. He's defensive end from Michigan. He will be participating in this Scouting Combine. And Akeem Okwanu, I hope I said his name right. Probably didn't. All right, but it is what it is. I'll learn it when the Scouting Combine happens. But those guys will be participating. The guys I kind of listed, obviously the ones that won't, Matt Corral, Evan Neal, Derek Stingley Jr., they're projected a top 5, top 10 pick. Same with Malik Willis, Carson Strong, Aiden Hutchinson, Akeem Okwanu. probably is how you say his name. Malik Willis might drop later first round, early second. Same with Carson Strong, but Aiden Hutchinson and Akeem, or I don't know how you say his. Yeah, we'll get that name right eventually. Especially if he becomes a superstar, gotta know it, right? But they are going to be participating. So let's kind of dive into what it's all going to entail. So the first event, the first kind of group that's going to be participating is obviously the quarterback, wide receiver, and tight end group. They will be taking place, or they will do all their drills, their on-field drills, their 40-yard dash, their bench press, all that stuff. They will be doing that this Thursday, March 3rd, from 3 p.m. Central Time to 10 p.m. Central Time. It'll definitely be on NFL Network, so you can watch it there. The next group will be Friday, March 4th. This will be the running back, offensive line, and special teams group. They will be going from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time, also on NFL Network. The third group will be the defensive line and linebackers. This will be taking place Saturday, March 5th, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then the last group, the defensive backs, they will be doing their drills Sunday, March 6th, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. So there's obviously a lot of defensive backs in this whole situation, in this draft. Let's hope the Vikings get Ahmad Gardner, or Ahmad Sauce Gardner, or Derek Stingley Jr., okay? Either one of them. Just need one. That's all I want. But I prefer Ahmad Sauce Gardner. I mean, 0 touchdowns in his entire college career. Can we please bring that type of motor, okay, into the organization? We would definitely need that, because Cam Dancer, garbage, okay? Chris Boyd, keep him on special teams. Not the greatest corner in the world. Patrick Peterson's a free agent. Harrison Smith, he's our safety. We got to keep him. All right. Xavier Woods, he's a free agent. We should probably try to figure out how to bring him back. But we're pretty short-staffed on the corner as of right now, so it'd be nice to draft one. And if we don't draft one with our first pick, I'm going to be pissed. Okay? I'm going to be pretty upset. And if we go with fucking Malik Willis, probably going to be a little upset. Even though, sure. But I think Kellen Mond is basically the same thing. Who knows? He could be a little bit better because he's actually had some NFL, practice and stuff like that. But we'll find out. So those are the dates for the combine, that you'll actually get to witness what these guys are capable of and how well they perform and all their official stats, how fast they can fucking run a 4.2 40. Okay, might want him on my team because he's a good special teamer. Could be a slot receiver. Who knows? But you get it. Obviously starts Thursday and then goes all the way till Sunday. So with that being said, that is all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether that be on, Facebook. Okay, hit that like and hit the share. Share. It'd be awesome. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. It would be much appreciated. We will be back here most likely tomorrow. It'll be an early show maybe. Might be a later show. I mean, not really late. It'd be about 6 p.m. Central Time because there's nothing going on tomorrow. I thought there was. That's not the case until Thursday, so probably 6 p.m. Central Time. Like always, be safe out there. Have a good one. Enjoy the weather. And you just got your fix with the Wicks. Deuces, folks.